Hello. Oh, Carl's got really dirty feet. Here. Welcome to Dirty Chicken Foot Happy Hour at Cedar Woods Farm. We hope you are well. We're a bit dirty up at the barn today. I hosed off the place earlier and not thinking, hey, quit it. It is 7/7 of 2020, and ow, Carl! Oh my God. Carl and I hope you are doing well. We are really excited about the drink that we're going to make today. We're going to make a gimlet, and we're going to use gin, of course, because that is the classic gimlet. I told you a couple videos ago when we did a Tom Collins that I've only recently gotten into gin. In the past, if I were going to order a gimlet, I would use vodka. I would say a vodka gimlet. But we're going to do the authentic gin gimlet. And it actually has a really interesting origin story. I thought it would be pretty to add some zinnias to the scene, but it looks like Carl's going to eat them. So anyway, the British Navy back in the 1850s was trying to help their soldiers with scurvy, which is a horrible disease brought on by vitamin C deficiency. And so they, because their sailors didn't have access to fresh produce because they were often at sea weeks and months at a time. So they figured out that it was vitamin C, and the best produce was fresh limes because they were easier to preserve. So they started, when they would go on their voyages, whatever you call it, they would take barrels of limes, and the soldiers were actually given a ration of this lime juice every day in an effort to prevent scurvy. Well, you can imagine that would be kind of tough on the palate, and so the officers, because they had access, I guess, to gin, they discovered that made it easier to stomach, I guess. So they would add gin to their vitamin C or their lime juice. And the sailors actually, sorry, Bob is on the roof. The sailors had a rum ration, and so they would add rum to their lime juice. And it was strange in my kind of pseudo research of this. The British Navy, that rum ration didn't end until 1970, which I thought was interesting, kind of cool. So everybody got a rum ration, a daily rum ration. So that's what they would do, and that's where this came from, they think. There was a doctor that was involved in this. He was a rear admiral, and his last name was Gimlet. It was spelled Gimlette. So, there are some sources that say that's where the gimlet cocktail came from. There are other people that say, because and I wish I had one to show you. I've only seen pictures of it, but there's a T-shaped, it's a small hand tool that's used for punching holes in wood. And so another theory is that they used one of those tools to actually get into the liquor casks on the ships. So, which would make sense. And then they just called the drink that derived from that they added, they added this liquor to their lime juice, and they called that a gimlet. So, oh, and by the way, I thought it was kind of cool. The sailors that had rum, that was called a grog and not a gimlet, a grog, which I had never heard of. So there you go, a little history lesson. So the sailors were doing that. It was the mid 1850s, and enter Lochin Rose, Mr. Rose, who had a little business in Scotland, and this business provided rations to, or provisionals to ships. And so he knew this was going on with the lime juice and that they were having to add alcohol to make it palatable. And so he did a little experimentation and figured out that you could take concentrated lime juice and sugar and make a lime cordial. So there you go. He patented this in 1867, and that's a gimlet. How cool is that? And of course, this stuff that you get at the store now, I mean, because his business was bought and sold over the years. I think Cadbury's or somebody owns it now. And certainly this with the high fructose corn syrup and the preservatives, I'm sure is not of the quality that that he patented in 1867. So there's a lot on the internet about homemade lime cordials, which I am very intrigued by and want to do. I mean, it seems pretty simple. You need lime peels and sugar. Another source said you need citric acid. I don't know that that's necessary, but anyway, you can make your own, but you must have lime cordial. If you go into a bar these days and you ask for a gimlet, you are likely, unless it's a really upscale bar that makes their own lime cordial, you are likely to get gin, lime juice, like fresh squeezed, which sounds great, and simple syrup, which is sugar water. But that is not an authentic gimlet. So we are sticking, even though it's not absolutely the same thing as 1867. It's got the, this is a brand drink. It's been branded. So with cocktails like this, if you take something away or you add something, like I often do on Chicken Happy Hour, then it's not the classic drink. Okay? So we're being hardcore about it. A couple other just interesting, one interesting thing that I learned in the reading. There is a phrase or a term called gimlet eye, which I'd never heard. I'm going to start using it. And it basically means, it's like the modern day stink eye, where, it's a piercing, penetrating, watchful look that you give somebody. That's called a gimlet eye. So, never heard of that. Have you? All right, let's do this. Did I? Yes, I touched a chicken. Everybody is just lying on the ground. I wish I could pan the camera around. It is close to 100, I'd say. And especially, I had to turn the fans off because you can't hear. They're so loud and rumbly. But everybody is very subdued. After we do our cocktail, I'll show you the pea chicks. I know I just showed them a couple days ago, but they are growing so fast. Those kids are going to be grown and in college before we know it. So I'm going to at least give you a glimpse of them. And then we might feed the emus or something fun. All right, pour out because all my ice has melted. So, super easy, this cocktail. It is 2 parts gin and 1 part of this Rose's cordial. And by the way, in America, it's labeled sweetened lime juice. In the UK and Canada, it's called cordial. It's just because, I don't know, Americans don't like the word cordial, I guess. It's too complicated. All right. I'm going to make this big. I'm going to do 2 Fritas of gin. So yeah, I picked these this morning from my garden. I got a squash, got a bunch of zucchinis a couple, I guess weeks ago, but they were already this big, too big to eat, so I gave them to the chickens. I just cut them in half. And they loved them. So if your zucchini or squash ever gets too big to eat for you to eat it, just cut it in half and lay it out for your chickens. They even ate the skin. Like the next day, it was completely gone. So I was happy that I did that because I was ready to just throw it all away. Okay, you want to put this in your shaker of ice, and you want to shake this for a good 10 to 15 seconds because it would be a travesty for this not to be super, super cold. So we're going to just shake. Again, very good for your flabby arm muscles. Gosh, it's so hot. The water's just running off of this. Okay. I don't know. Was that 10 seconds? Probably. Oh, I'm super excited. Oh, that looks good, y'all. And remember, always, if you're making a drink with no garnish, you need a fancy glass, right? That's the rule. So I'm putting this in a coupe. It would be pretty in a martini glass, anything, just, you know, a little fancy. Oh, girl. That is super, super good. It's like lime Kool-Aid. It's like heavenly summer. It's like, I wish I had a pool. Really good. The Gimlet. I keep wanting to say Gimlet. Okay. We could just sit here and drink for a minute. I wish the chicken's feet weren't so dirty. I'd like to, Carl, why are your feet so dirty? You could come up here. Okay, another phrase I learned in my research is a Gordian knot, which is a fancy way to say something I'm not going to say on tape, cluster. But a Gordian knot is like an impossible, just fiasco, mess, whatever. So it's another, it's fun to do this research. I appreciate you joining me. Let's look at the pea chicks briefly. And then, you know what, let's feed the emus. They weren't up here when I first came. They were down in the woods, I guess, being cool. But they've come up, and that's what I was going to do originally, was feed them because, ouch, I think I just stepped on a bee. All right. See, this is what everybody's doing. It's just so crazy hot. It's either that or they're gathered around the water cooler. Okay, let me show you these babies. Okay. Look. Okay. Oh, look how big they are. Hi, Juju. Hi, Juju. So hot. Everybody's just panting. Hey. Hey. They are getting feathers. Where's Todd? There's Todd. Todd has one fine feathered wing and one not so much. And we figured out this is Juju molting. That's all the feathers. Looks like somebody's been killed in here, but it's just Juju molting. Okay. Oh my goodness, hold on. I can't get this door. All right, let's get some dog food. And by the way, the bees are doing great. I am certainly not going out there, but there's the hive, and I'm sure you can't tell or see them on this, but they are working hard. This is where I should have thought ahead. Hold on. All right. Well, that's enough to make them come up. All right. No, this is not for you guys. Sorry. Pheasant. Look at this pretty boy. Pretty. Yeah, everybody's just standing around panting. And then here's the cinnamon gold. Getting some big tail feathers, these boys. All right, where'd they go? Okay, we're gonna try to get out of here with the... No, girls, no. Come on, get back. Nope, nope. All right. Here we go. Look, you want to just eat it out of that? Ow, that's my hand. God, I am getting injured today. Everybody's going for the wrong... No, it's in the thing. Oh, for goodness sakes. Emus are not known for their extreme intelligence. Are you, Tater? So, still hoping that this one is a boy and that one is a girl. Oh, no. No! There. It's funny the way they eat. They just squat down. I guess it's easier because they're so tall. And they have been in the mud. They like to do this, roll around in the mud when it's really hot. Well, hey, Bob. Hey, buddy. It's a freaking zoo around here. Okay, it's all right. Go back to lunch. All right. Well, I am going to get back to my gimlet before it gets hot, assuming somebody's not standing in it. And I hope you are cool wherever you are, and hope you are well. And we'll do this again soon, but I appreciate you joining. Thank you. Some hot girls.